So, Manchester United need a midfielder. It's not new news, it's not old news, it's fact. We've needed a new midfielder for about a decade. Yeah, it's an issue we've not sorted. We've tried to sort it. We thought we had sorted it with Ugarte. That hasn't been the case. We've been linked with Conor Gallagher. We've been linked with Joao Gomes. We all know we've been linked with Belieber in the summer. But the first two names I've put out there are something we're trying to potentially do in January. And I like this, right? Under Fergie, we used to get Henrik Larssons, we used to get Michael Owens, we used to get, more recently under Ollie, who followed that trend, Igalo, right? Where we would grab someone in midway through the season, who I'm not saying is out of favour anywhere, because they're not, but you know what I mean? Not an elite transfer, but someone that could come in and really help the squad, really boost our chances of improving and having a stronger finish to the end of the season, right? And I feel like thinking about getting Joao Gomes, thinking about getting Conor Gallagher is the right thought process. However, my question to you is, do we have someone in our ranks already? Do we have someone in our ranks already that could potentially do that job? Have a little look at this.
I do have a question for you guys, though. And this is very hypothetical because the man's always injured, right? And I think it's tough to know how he would do, because playing with, you can be good on the ball, and I think you'll know who I'm talking about as I explain this. You can be good on the ball facing play, but receiving the ball with the back to play, you might not be as good. And he's always injured. Would you play Lisandro Martínez in midfield? Would you play him in that role?
So here's the thing.
No.
I say no. I love Lisandro, by the way. I've dabbled with this idea in my brain as well, myself. If this was if we was in a possession-heavy based team with a midfield three, and you just want him to be the linchpin, where he can just have time, spread the ball, he can drop into the back three and do what he does.
He's great at linking things, KJ, right?
Yeah,
he's great at linking defense to attack.
Yeah, you find that one-threaded ball and find the right guy and do it. So the idea in itself makes sense, but the problem is the parameters that we're in. We don't play a heavy possession team. We don't play a three-man midfield. And if we did, I can't guarantee we'd do it where he would drop into centre-back. So I would say no.
He actually ticks the boxes, right? He does. He's tenacious. He will go into a tackle with his head, with his ankle, with his earlobe. He does not care, right? He's good on the ball. He's passionate. The only bad thing is he's injured. And he'll probably get injured within 1 week in that position. You know?
The big attribute you just said, he will dive into tackles in order to, and he'll defend with his life. Those are great last man in the defense kind of attributes. When you're the guy in the middle, you've got to be more tact.
What about you, Terry? Would you play him there?
So I don't think he needs to start in midfield, because what our manager wants is centre backs like Lisandro who can step into the midfield. So essentially, this is what I mean, but I don't look at it as what position will his face be put in by Sky Sports or on Footmob or who scored. I care about the positions. And if you actually look at Luke Shaw's heat map, some of the touches, he looks like a wing back still. There are a lot of times he's touching the ball in central midfield as well. So, but the left-hand side of it. So he'll do a lot of. He actually look at Luke Shaw. I'm going to get it. It's taking me time. I've got to clip it. But if you look at Luke Shaw's wrong button, I've clicked on. If you look at Luke Shaw's heat map as an example, a lot of his touches come in the central midfield areas. He has to go out wide as well. But this is where I think, like Lisandro, when he first started playing for Ruben, I didn't like it. I thought he looked out of place. I thought he was making mistakes. I just thought it was going to be really bad.
He did look better under Ten Hag, didn't he? He did.
But then I felt in the last 5, 6, 7 games before he got that injury, I felt he was starting to understand it. I thought he was starting to defend well. He obviously created that. There was 2 goals he created for us by going into midfield. The Bruno Fernandes one against Rangers, the goal against City.
Against Fulham as well.
Yeah, he scored the goal against Fulham. He's obviously scored the goal against Liverpool. He started, and that wasn't a centre. That was someone playing centre back, but he was doing what you expect to see from midfielders. So my point being, I don't think he needs to be one of the double pivot. I think playing as the left centre-back, he's going to do a lot of midfield roles. So when I show you this here from Luke Shaw, nobody would consider this. We'll know it's a centre-back because I've said it's a centre-back. But if I showed you that heat map, nobody would say that's a centre-back. So there's so much of that is midfield. Now, it's not central, but it's midfield. Some of it looks like a wing-back. Some of it looks like a centre-back. But there's a lot of it, it looks maybe like a left back, again, that inverts and goes into those middle areas. And I think you'll see even more of that from Lisandro. I think you'll see Lisandro do a lot more of that. So I think he will take up...
Who are you taking out
Luke
in
Shaw.
this centre-back position?
Luke Shaw, every day.
But I think Luke Shaw, I spent all summer calling this guy what's it legs because his legs snap at any opportunity. That's a bad joke, to be honest, because he actually had a leg break. So apologies for that, right? But I wouldn't take him out. I think he's been good. And if we're suffering in midfield, why not try Lisandro Martínez there if we don't get a Joao Gomes?
Now, look, I know what you're going to say, right? He's always injured. And KJ made a point there at the end that's spot on. You got a fella that's always injured, that's going to play in one of the most toughest positions in the pitch in regards to getting around the pitch, making tackles and so forth. But I think the geezer's excellent. He's great on the ball, and I made that point in that clip. We don't know how great he is on the ball with his back, but with his back, people pressuring him, his back to play. But I have seen him with his back to play in that defensive position, and he's dealt with it really well. His distribution is fantastic. We miss him so much for that reason, because he really does link defence to midfield and sometimes skips midfield altogether and links defence to attack, which is exactly what our current manager wants. That's what he wants. He likes that direct, long ball style of play. And Martinez offers that, but he doesn't even offer it in the air as much. He offers it on the floor. The last player to offer something like that for us was Michael Carrick. He used to just sting balls right through the grass into players. Now, I'm over-exaggerating saying Lisandro Martínez is a Michael Carrick, but I've seen those type of balls being played by him, where he just plays it through the middle of the park, beats 2-3 opposition players with that ball. I put this all together, and I think, if we can't get a midfielder, or we're going to spend crazy money or whatever getting a midfielder, why not try him there? Apparently he's back to first team training in October. We're not trying to rush him back, which is great. We've got quite a few defensive options in regards to centre-backs. We do. You can see that because the manager makes bloody changes every bloody game. He's got like 10-15 minutes left to play. He always changes the centre-backs. It's a bit of a weird one, to be honest. But it shows we've got options there. Tell me what you think. I've been saying this since the summer. If we can't get a midfielder, let's try Martinez there. The poor bugger got injured. But one of the injuries, he kicked the floor, which doesn't look great, right? But his most recent injury was the one where the guy landed on his leg. Look, it feels like he is a little bit injury prone because he feels like he's always injured. But I felt the same about Luke Shaw, and he's managed to string 11 games together here and looking half decent. I wouldn't take him out of the team. If we need someone in that role, let's try Lisandro Martínez. To be honest, maybe we've got an opportunity to do that over the Christmas period, right? Maybe we have an opportunity to do that before we go out and get one of these players. I don't know. Wolves look like they're facing relegation, right? They've just sacked their manager. Will they loan out Joao Gomes? He might push for it, but I don't think they can afford to do that. And then you scratch your head and think you're grabbing a player from a team that can't get a win to save their lives. He's meant to be breaking up play and helping getting the ball back. I mean, he's looked half decent, but I mean, yes, you do grab diamonds from these teams that are struggling. That's how it works, right? But still, Conor Gallagher, I see why we want him, but is that just not another Ugarte? Maybe a better version for sure. Conor Gallagher runs for his life. He's passionate. He does have the right mentality. And listen, if Simeone likes him, for me, Simeone knows how to pick a player in that position. He's quite a defensive, pragmatic-minded manager. So, but if he's willing to let him go, Does he really like him? Does he rate him as much as he first thought? You know, you weigh all these things up. I asked a question. I didn't put it in this clip, but I asked a question. What type of midfielder do we need? Do we need a Michael Carrick or do we need a Kante right now? The response was we need both. I agree, but if we had to pick one of the two, I think we need a Kante. My issue is when have we signed someone like that? When was the last time we signed someone like that? Roy Keane, maybe? We maybe tried something like that with Jemba. Not to mock him, I love him. He's a club legend as far as I'm concerned. I've never forgotten Jemba. But I feel like that's the last time we signed that sort of player. So I don't trust us to find a midfielder. I don't trust us to identify midfielders. We're fucking shocking at it. So it scares me when we're like, you know, Belieber's the one, it seems. Belieber. You saw him against us. I mean, flipping Casemiro and Bruno had his number. That's worrying for me. It's very worrying for me. We can have off games, but I've got PTSD with our midfield signings, to be honest. Every single one of them have gone down the drain. Like, even since LVG days, Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger. The list goes on. We've struggled getting... I mean, more recently, Ugarte. I'm starting to really like Casemiro, yeah. I made a video just about him a few months ago. His attitude, everything about him. He's just, you know... He's being asked to run more now. This is what the video was about. He's being asked to run more now than he was in his prime at Real Madrid. It's a big ask for a man in his 30s, you know. So I do feel sorry for him. But do you, viewers, you tell me, do you trust the club to identify a midfielder? I don't. So if we're going to go out and get someone in January, before then, if we can get him fit without rushing him back, I would try Lisandro Martínez in that role. Try him with Bruno. Try him with Casemiro. We've got so many number 10s that we don't know what to do with them. I know some of you are like Mainu. I just don't feel like Mainu does that role well. I don't feel like Mainu's a destroyer to go and get the ball back. He's great on the... I said it on the Football Terrace yesterday. I haven't clipped it up for here. I feel like Mainu's a number 10. The best bits I've seen from Mainu is a 1-2 on the edge of the box and him slotting it. But people act like they've seen his best bits in midfield. I've not really seen that. I've seen his best bits as a number 10. That's what I've seen. He hasn't actually played the number 10. He's come from midfield, but he's joined in from there. But at him in midfield, I wouldn't say he dominates the ball. I wouldn't say he gets the ball back. I wouldn't say he looks after the ball too well in midfield. So it's out of the question for me, Mainu. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know, could Lisandro Martínez be the key to us controlling games a bit more? Could he be the key to us linking this defence to attack? Could he have been the key to beat Nottingham Forest, to beat Spurs, and we could be banging, dare I say it, a fairy tale, banging a title race? You guys know where I'm at with this manager. He's taken us from awful, mind you, he dragged us down to awful. I'll never forget that, trust me. You know I'm balanced, guys. I hope you do anyway. He dragged us down to awful. He's now brought us up to mediocre. Yeah? I'm really hoping the next stage is good. Above average. Let's call it that. What I am very worried about is that, you know, from above average to good to in a title race. That's maybe the trajectory that we're trying to go on. What I'm really worried about is we're here at the moment. I want to get here. Please don't go back to here. Because then I will definitely lose faith. I had lost faith anyway. But after these 5 games, it's given me a bit more like fair play. You've got some results. Maybe it's starting to come together. And based on his history at Sporting, it took him a full second season for him to win. Well, a bit like Man United. He had a little bit of a season, half a season, then he did a full season and he won the fucking league. Now, I'm not expecting that from him, but maybe that's coming to fruition where the improvements happen in his full season. Let's see. Could Lisandro Martínez be exactly what we need in midfield? Please comment below, subscribe. Catch you on the next one.